Hey everyone, just got back from the BNI Sphere meeting run by Peter Mustakis. A really great and productive meeting, loved it. Got a chance to do my 10-minute presentation. I know a few of you couldn't make it tonight, so I'm just putting it out for you to take a look. So the intention of my 10-minute presentation is really to present the model of what I offer through the work that I do for my private clients, for my group clients, and some of the key things that I think are really important. And one thing I do, it's actually a theme that we had in the BNI meeting, is standing out from the pack. Peter was talking about Seth Godin's Purple Cow and being remarkable, and that's one thing you really need to do when you're looking to build your career, whether it's internally within the company that you're working for, whether it's building your own business, whether you're in career transition. How are you going to stand out? It's one of the things I'll really focus on. Why use a coach? Why use a coach or a mentor? I think there are a number of reasons. I'll go through those really quickly. One is to get perspective on what it is that you do. Even the best performers in the world, I think Michael Jordan at one time had 6 various coaches giving him various inputs around diet, nutrition, shooting, fitness, the psychological aspect of basketball. Because as self-aware as we are and we can be, people, and particularly coaches who are experienced, really have that outside perspective. It's also something, people, you can use a coach to share goals, to work towards goals, to set outcomes. A coach can give you specific in-time performance evaluation in the fields of careers. I love working with my clients and honestly taking them from being directionless on the Monday to about Wednesday or Thursday in the same week, having clearly defined direction and goals and outcomes that they want to have. So that would be the reason to be using a coach. What I presented tonight at the BNI meeting was that this is an axiological model. It's really a values-based model. And I asked the question, what do you want? And the answer really gives me the information about what is important to my client. What is important to you? For some people, it can be prestige, freedom, success. It can be money. For others, it may be affiliation. It may be a sense of fulfillment, a sense of significance. This is really key and really important because individuals that are in highly paid jobs but don't really value the money that they're getting, they're looking for more affiliation or more success and meaning in their careers, are going to be very, very unhappy. And conversely, those that really value money and material goods, if they're in a position where they're getting a lot of affiliation and a lot of attention but really not making the sort of money that they want to do, again, they're going to be equally unhappy. So I'll work on what is important to an individual and really feed that back to the client, and 100% of the time they're going to say, yes, that is really important to me. So we'll begin to build the outcomes that we want to have based around the values that they have. One thing that's critical in the work that I do is getting clients to think bigger and to play all out. And we do live in a society that tends to tell people to shy away and to hide their talents. And while there may be a time and place for this, it's definitely not when you're looking to build your career and build big ideas. Getting back to the Seth Godin theme, he has a book called Linchpin, Are You Indispensable? And this really talks about if you're going to make a difference within an organization, you're going to be the one that goes the extra mile, that does the extra. If you start at 3 o'clock, you're the one that's there at 2:45, and not just to sit around chatting for 15 minutes till you're on the clock, but you're the one that shows up at 2:45 and gets down to things and really goes the extra mile. A great example is my favorite airline, which is JetBlue Airlines. When I fly, they're the first people I go to, simply because they give great customer service. They actually care. I get the feeling that they care that I have a great experience while I'm on the aeroplane. They have these TVs, they have these little blue chips, they have great coffee, they don't nickel and dime me for the tiniest amounts. And anytime I've asked for service on a JetBlue flight, they've really given it to me. And this is a great example of playing all out. The next thing, which is key, is getting clients to really take responsibility for their personal situation, and accountability builds into this quite a lot. Personal responsibility is can get confused with being selfish and being full of oneself and not caring about others. But I think it's the opposite. When you really take on personal responsibility, you take on responsibility for your actions and for the actions of the people around you and how you interact. And when this is done seamlessly, you become somebody that's incredibly impactful within the work situation, and you become somebody that people want to hire. We spend a lot of money in this country on education. I think it's about $18,000 per year from kindergarten up through high school, and then as you know, once we hit college, the 18,000 is more on the low end. You know, we're looking at anything up to about 60,000 a year currently, and these figures are only going up. Putting the knowledge that you've learned to work and leveraging the knowledge that you have, I think, is a real critical and key skill. How can you leverage what you know into a particular position? And sometimes it doesn't become apparent because you may have a degree in a particular subject. Let's say you have a degree in biology, and while that may dovetail really neatly into a career in a biological field, there may be certain things that you've studied, such as biological systems, that if you're looking to make a career transition into let's say the field of human relations, but these biological systems and the systems theory, you may have a real leg up. So really putting your knowledge to work can be key. A lot of my clients come to me after they've been in the workplace for a little while, and what they did was they took the first available position that came along and hoped it would work out, and unfortunately this is kind of a recipe for disaster. So the work I'll do will be building for the long term. What's the long term outcome that you want to get? And we'll spend a lot of time getting very, very clear about this. And this may change over time as well. But if you want to be satisfied in your career, want to be successful in your career, you really need to cast out and think long term. There's a great phrase out there saying that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. And I'd much rather my clients are putting their attention on 10 years out, where do they want to be, where do they want to be going. It's just definition of middle age, saying that when you finally reach the top of the ladder, only to find that that the ladder was perched against the wrong building. It's one of the I think the saddest stories out there. And again, it's really not thinking for the long term, but going for the short term gratification, where most successful people, most satisfied people I know, they really think about this, spend the time to work with somebody to work out what they want to have long term. One of the key skills that any individual needs, and now more so than any, is the ability to be able to network with others. I use the phrase bridging capital because I think you build up capital with various individuals, and it's something that you need to maintain over time. Networking can be seen as like, who do you know and what can they do for you? And I think this is a very shallow way of looking at networking. I think you should really look at your networks and constantly be asking yourself, what is the value that you can deliver? Even if it's something as simple as taking somebody out for lunch to pick their brains, making sure that you pick up the bill, because you constantly want to be given to these relationships and feeding these relationships. That's why you're building up capital. So when there comes a time when you may need a favor or an introduction, that you do have that capital and the person is only too happy to make the introduction for you. If the relationship's been one where you're constantly taking and taking and taking, it can be very challenging for that individual to want to make the introduction for you. And they may not make the greatest introduction, even if they do make the introduction. So constantly be thinking of the bridging capital that you're building up while you're networking. And to close up, I'm going to say what are the career success markers that all of us can be aiming for? We definitely want to get paid. We all need to eat. A lot of us have families, so we want to make sure that is taken care of. And again, maybe you want to take a hit in the short term, and if you're able to do that, to build towards something where you can really make sure that money is going to be coming in the long term. That may be a great strategy. Independence. I think independence finally comes when you're great at working with others and you really have no need to constantly be getting feedback about yourself and the work that you're doing. You're actually working independently, you're making independent decisions, and you're actually working interdependently with others. Freedom, I think, is a great marker. Do you have the freedom within the position that you've taken to do the things that you want to be doing? And again, that leads on to fulfillment. And finally, I think that one of the greatest things that we can all be aiming for within our careers is some significance. Like, what were we put on the planet to do, and who did we help? And those that are able to reach significance with their careers, I think, are those that are, have put their stake in the ground. They've worked extraordinarily hard to make a difference in the world, and they're the people that we remember. So how can we do this? Well, as we get to the how, this is the good part. And a really easy way to make a referral for me is to have somebody come to one of my one-day programs. The next one coming up is September the 29th. That's a Saturday, and it's going to be held in Framingham, Massachusetts. Somebody that you know is thinking of a career transition, somebody that you know is unhappy within their career and wants some career input, somebody you know maybe between jobs and careers and just a little stuck. This is a fantastic referral for me. Send them over to the website www.charlescareers.com. All of the information about the program, how they can sign up, is there. I'd love if you could make a short recommendation as to why they should come to the program, a little bit about how you know me, and what you think that I'll be able to offer towards their career. But there's definitely going to be a lot there for anybody looking to make changes within their career or to really build up their career. I just love putting on these programs. The testimonies and the feedback I get from these programs are kind of through the roof, because what we do is really focus on all of the things that I spoke about during the presentation tonight, and ensure that when the participants leave at 4:05, that they've got a plan, there are things that they want to be doing, and that they're going to be tangible results that they're going to get in the world. So I thank you so much for the time and for listening to the presentation. Any questions, just drop me an email, dennis@charlescareers.com. Be glad to answer those. Have a wonderful evening. We had a great meeting tonight. And once again, thank you to Peter Mastakis for facilitating, hosting the meeting, and allowing me to speak tonight. Have a good one. Bye.